Okay, so today we're going to be graphing linear functions, and it sounds very daunting, and it sounds really scary, and I feel like Julianne is just having a heart attack right now thinking, there's no way I can do this, Mrs. Tennant, but there absolutely is a way you can do this. I've prepared you, I've prepped you for this, you can do it. Take a deep breath. So the word linear comes from the word line, so really all we're doing is we're graphing a line. Okay, so I'll show you that in just a second, but in order to graph a linear function, we need to, again, come up with our function rule, which we already learned in our last lesson. And if you look on Guided Practice, page 476, at question number 1, it says write an equation to represent the function shown in the table. And everybody in 6th grade now knows that an equation has to have, very good, an equal sign. It has to have an equal sign. Every equation that you're going to start with, okay, is going to be y equals, okay? Because remember, when we have our function tables, we always have an x and a y value. All right, so we have y equals, and we need to figure out what does y equal. Well, from our last lesson, we remember we need to figure out how we go from our input to our output. How do we go from 1 to 4, 2 to 8, 3 to 12? What am I doing each time? Okay, you'll notice if you go from 1 to 4, you're adding 3, but if you do 2 plus 3, that's not equal to 8. So it's not an arithmetic sequence, okay? You're going to be doing 1 times 4 equals 4, 2 times 4 equals 8, 3 times 4 equals 12. So you'll notice that you're multiplying by 4 each time, okay? This is going to be our x value. So this is going to be a letter x over here. So y is going to be equal to 4 times x. So y equals 4x. And that's your function rule. Okay, y equals 4x. That is the answer to number 1. That's all you had to do there. You just had to write the equation. And now if you look at number 2, they're going to ask you to graph it. Okay? Number 2 says graph the function, and they gave you y equals x plus 3. That's all they gave you. They didn't give you anything else. Okay? And you're okay. We can do this. So you're going to make a function table. You're going to make, that we learned a couple of days ago, you're going to make your x column, your function rule goes right in the middle, and your y value is your output. Okay, so you're always going to make a function table first. You can't graph without really having a function table. It's just too hard to kind of memorize all the numbers. They'll get all mixed up in your head. So it's better to just write it out. They didn't give us any numbers though. We don't have any numbers here. So the nice thing is, I just picked 3 numbers, but I picked 3 of the easiest numbers. You can pick 0, 1, and 2. You could pick 1, 2, and 3. You could pick 56, 56, 56, 57, 58. But again, I wouldn't go crazy. I would try and pick the easiest numbers so that it makes your math a lot easier. And again, so you just pick any 3 numbers, and then you plug in your value for x. So I'm going to write 0 plus 3. I'm going to write 1 plus 3, and I'm going to write 2 plus 3. So again, I didn't choose big numbers, I chose easy math numbers. 0 plus 3 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, 2 plus 3 is 5. Now I have completed my function table. Now I need to make my ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are always going to be in the order x, comma, y. Those are our numbers, our plotting points that we're going to be graphing. Okay? X, comma, y for this one would be 0, comma, 3. So we have one ordered pair is going to be 0, comma, 3. Our second one is going to be 1, comma, 4. And our third one is going to be 2, comma, 5. You really only need to plot 3 points. I wouldn't do any more than that. If you want to, you can. But don't do any less than that either, or else it's going to be hard to see the line that you formed. So I would say always pick 3 easy numbers for your x values, for your input. It's always easier to pick your input than your output. Okay? Now you're going to graph them. And again, they don't give you a graph on number 2. Sometimes they'll give you the little coordinate plane, but they didn't give you one, so you could just draw one out like I did. And what you're going to do is you're going to plot your points. So you're going to go over 0 and up 3. So it's going to be on this line right here. You're going to go over 1 and up 4. And you're going to go over 2 and up 5. And then what you can do is you can connect the points so that it forms a line. You connect the points, you draw one line through all your points, and you put a little arrow at the end. The arrow means that the line is going to keep going and going and going. If we continued this table, okay, the line would follow in this pattern. It wouldn't curve at all. It wouldn't form a circle. It would just keep going in a perfectly straight line. Okay? If you have any questions, email me or message me on Google Classroom.